So for those of you who caught up with us last time in this series, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at Cania Gorge National Park, heading up to Capricorn Caves after that, and then doing a loop and heading back down to Brisbane with a few stops at different places along the way. So what we're off to take a look at today is Cania Gorge National Park, and the first of our stops is going to be at Cania Lake. So let's get four wheels on the road and check it out. So as with all my journeys around the place, I try and keep a few things as a bit of a surprise if I can. And I have to say, at the end of Cania Gorge here, Cania Lake is actually a little bit of a surprise. There's a massive precinct here with huge park areas right next to the lake, which is fantastic. Tons of covered areas, so I think you could get some good use out of it if you're up here. It's a really beautiful park that's here, and some great picnic areas that are here as well. Old concrete tables, and there's about probably half a dozen covered areas as well for picnics and barbecues, which have each got 3 separate tables in them. And there's a boat ramp here as well, and I saw some signs on the way up that they actually have a yearly fishing tournament as well, so I think quite a lot goes on up here for the locals and they get some good use out of it, which is fantastic. You've also got a lot of trees around, which is fantastic. There's a little road that goes up onto the top of the hill here, and it's a great view of the lake, the lake wall, and also the gorge as well. And it's been a good little find here to come and check out this lake. I didn't even know it was here, and as I mentioned before, and as I mentioned on my Uluru trip last year, that's the way I like to do things on my journeys. I like to just sort of know a little bit about what I'm going to do, and then just find out what happens when I get there mostly, which, you know, makes it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more exciting. Alright, so now that we've taken a bit of a look around the lake here, I think it's time for us to head on back and get some accommodation organised for the evening. So I think what the plan will be is to head on back to a place that we passed along the way in here called Cania Gorge Tourist Retreat. So I think we'll head on back there now. So now that we've arrived at the tourist retreat here, I can see that it was definitely a good choice for a place to come to. It's a beautiful little site with a ton of trees, and it's in very natural surroundings, so it's a fantastic little place to head off to, and it's got a couple of little bonuses that we'll take a look at later on. I've also noticed while we were here and taking a look at what walks are available in the area that there's a pretty short little walk right near the site here, so we're going to go and take a look at that as well. So what we've done after we got set up at camp was quickly headed to the Bigfoot Walk to take a look at the area there. And it's only 50 metres from the campsite, so it's pretty easy to get there. The rocky outcrops here at Bigfoot are really cool. And just next to Bigfoot here, you've got these caves as well, which are really cool. And they go back about 5 metres, as you'll see from your pictures here. It's a pretty cool little area, and it's great that it's actually this close to the van park as well. It's literally 50 metres away, so pretty handy. One of the points of interest we noticed at the entry to the Bigfoot Walk here was that there is signage that directs you to all of the other walks that are within the area. We did, however, notice that the other walks start from a day use area that we'd spotted just up the road. So what we're going to do now is head on up to the walk for King Orchid Crevice and 2 Storey Cave and check those out up there. The gorge picnic area here is pretty cool actually. It's right up against one of the walls of the gorge, so you can see all the red and brown of the rock sticking out. Makes for a nice little view. Great setup here. You can basically cook your barbecue and look at the walls of the gorge as you're cooking, which is pretty awesome. Be a great place to come and hang out for the day. Alright, well that's enough from me. Let's get on the trail up to the 2 Storey Cave circuit. As you would have seen from the signage just across the road, the trails that are here actually aren't that long. Most of them are about 1 or 2 kilometres long, but there are some shorter ones that are available if you can't walk that far. This trail here is a 1.2 kilometre loop, I believe, something like that. And there's a couple of other trails that are very similar, sort of 900 metres out to one of the trails on the other side. So plenty of options for shorter walks if you can't do longer ones. Wow, I'll tell you what, the faces of the gorge are just incredible. It's almost scary at times being under these rock formations because they're just overhanging so far. I feel like they're going to collapse on you or something. Amazing. The walk itself up here to Storey Cave is not too bad. As you would have seen, there's a few little stairs along the way, but it's only fairly short, so it's not too bad to get up here. The first story of Storey Cave goes back around about 10 metres, and then you can actually see a little hole at the back, and it's not too hard to climb up, and you can get onto the second level quite easily from there. And as you can see, you've got a really great view out into the gorge and the surrounding area here, and it's a pretty cool little thing to check out. Alright, we're going to go and head along the rest of the path now, and as you'll see, there's plenty more things to check out just on this walk itself as well. I have to say, it's a fascinating walk along the entire Storey Cave circuit here. It's really cool checking out the sides of the gorge, and all of the colours that exist in the rock that's here is just amazing. There's another little surprise that we actually came across right here at the sign for King Orchid Crevice, just before King Orchid Crevice actually starts. My partner actually noticed a little rock stairway right next to the sign here, and we decided to go and check that out. And little did I know that there was actually a really great section that was up here, and I completely missed this last time I came here, so it was really great to come and check that out. And as you can see, there's some great views from in between the rocks here, and you can see where huge big sections of the rock formation have actually split from the hill. So it's fascinating to check that out as well. King Orchid Crevice is actually a cool little section as well. It's fun sort of walking underneath that crevice and taking a look at that as well. And the whole walk itself is actually really quite interesting, and really definitely glad we came and checked it out. Alright, well, it's time to make our way back down to the bottom now, and we're going to head on back to our accommodation for the afternoon and make some plans for what is in store for the rest of the journey. Alright, and now that we're back at our accommodation at Cania Gorge Tourist Retreat here, it's time for the little surprise that I was speaking about earlier on. One of the great things they actually have in store here for you is a bird feeding, which happens every day. And it's really cool. They just provide you with some bird food, and you can just hang out with a whole host of different native Australian birds, and it was great to actually do that as well. Alright, well, that's going to wrap things up for us this week. Next time we catch up, we're going to be on our way up to Rockhampton and checking out Capricorn Caves. See you then.